Today I'm talking about problems in life, and I was listening to a sermon, and he was like, why do we have all these problems? And Paul talks about how you're pressed on both sides and persecuted. And I felt like what God was showing me was we actually don't have problems in life. We have boundaries because God actually don't have problems in life. We have boundaries because God has a unique destined path for each soul, and it's individual to each soul and what your destiny is. And each person's destiny is to rebuild God's kingdom and bring peace and healing to the earth. So when you think of your life and having all these problems, they're not problems, they're boundaries, and they're keeping you on the straight and narrow. And it's only when we resist the straight and narrow and try and force our will, or if we're impatient or frustrated or angry and we try and push beyond the limitations and boundaries of our will, or if we're impatient or frustrated or angry and we try and push beyond the limitations and boundaries of our path, problems. And what you can do is you can look at your life and say, where are things not working? Where are things falling apart? Where is sickness? Where is disease? And where do I feel like God's hands are not? Where am I not blessed? Those problems are signs that you're not on the right path. And so you want to be able to pray and readjust and pivot so that you get back on the right path. And it might be a path that you hate. In my situation, I'm miserable. God told me to sell my house. I've been stuck at my parents' house in their basement for 2 years. I have no independence. I don't have my garden. I don't have my home. And I don't have enough money to do anything. And those are the limitations that God has put in my path to keep me where I am because of what He's teaching me and whatever else He's doing in the world. And we have to learn that when we see the world and we see that there are problems, we either need to pivot and pull back and readjust and get right with God and stop wanting things so quickly, repent, turn from our sin and get back on His path. Or we need to realize that we are on the right path and the things that we think are problems aren't. It's just our flesh wanting things that God doesn't want for us because it's either not the right time or it's not right at all. So like in my situation, I'm thinking I have all these problems because I'm not able to profit anything. I'm always afraid of their bills. I feel like I'll never be able to get out of my parents' basement. I'll never be able to get a house again. And those are lies from the enemy. Whereas you'll know if God's telling you made a wrong move, go back, versus the fear that the enemy puts on you to make you take a wrong move. So all the problems in your life are not problems. They're boundaries and borders to keep you where you are because you're on the right path. It's just not time. So just stay where you are. If you have all your provisions being met and you're healthy and well, then that is a sign that you're on the right path. And the problems that you're perceiving are just boundaries saying it's not time or it's not right, and trust the Lord and stay on that path. If you're having sickness and disease and things are falling apart, it says you're not on the right path. Pivot, go back. And you might not be happy, but God doesn't care about your happiness. He cares about making sure you're on the right path to be refined and in alignment with your destiny. So if you're like me and everyone else in the world, and you're consumed thinking that you just have so many problems in life, either redirect or have more faith and patience with God, because you're going to be fine and God will take care of everything as long as you're under His protection, in His will, in alignment with Him. As long as you're under His protection, in His will, in alignment with Him. I'm going to look up some physics examples about the path of and how energy flows, because in physics, energy is designed to naturally go along the path of least resistance. So if you're getting hit with tons and tons of resistance, you're not on the right path. So pivot and redirect. If you're just miserable where you are, but things are fine, you just got to wait and do what you can do every step, because it's not about being happy. It's about being worthy and righteous. So hopefully that can help some of y'all. And I will do a hands-on example of this to show you.